what are a few Chicano artists that you listen to?
Why does he have to put me on the spot like that?
He's now interviewing you.
I mean, I gotta. Okay, so Ale, welcome to my show.
Gabacho, thank you so much for being here today. Te quiero dar las gracias primeramente porque esta es una de las entrevistas más interesantes porque I get to interview someone who thinks in two languages like I do, so that's super special to me because artists that I usually interview, I have to solely train my mind to speak English or Spanish. So the fact that I can do this freely without like really training my brain to do one thing or the other and do both at the same time is like super cool because I know you do that too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Ale, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy to be here, and yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that when you are speaking with someone that speaks both English and Spanish, I feel like you can express yourself more fluidly, and even just like, I feel like Spanish is one color and English is a different color. So then when you're able to use like these two palettes of color, you kind of like are able to express yourself in a more colorful way.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabacho, tell me how you came up with your artist name, Gabacho. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, so the thing is, I was born here in Chicago, and I grew up here until I was 8 years old, right? So then my parents, they saved up some money, and they kind of wanted to open up a restaurant in Mexico. So they did that. They worked really hard. They saved up enough money for us to go to Mexico and open up a restaurant. And the thing is, at the time, it was both my parents and it was 4 of us because I have 3 brothers and we're all guys, right? And we moved over to Mexico. And I mean, ultimately, the restaurant unfortunately didn't work out. But the thing is that the 6 years that I spent in Mexico were amazing because I made a lot of friends. And the friends that I made, they gave me a nickname called Gabacho because Gabacho means foreigner in Spanish. Entonces cuando estábamos en la clase decían, como notaban mi acento, decían, tú eres gabacho. O también me decían gringo y así, pero se me pegó mucho a gabacho. Y así me reconocieron como gabacho. So when it was time to like name the project, I called it Gabacho because I feel like I had to embrace who I was, Mexican American, who, you know, wasn't, you know, como dice Selena, ni de aquí ni de allá.
Yeah, of course. So that's your stage name, right? Now your real name.
Siul.
Okay, how did you get that name?
So, all the names are just so weird that are associated.
I know, that's what I'm asking.
So my full name is Siule Soch, which is Jose Luis spelled backwards. And my dad's name is Jose Luis. So he decided to call me Siule Soch, his name backwards, which is really
that's
weird,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
Is that like, do a lot of people ask you that?
Basically every day. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. Every day,
Are you sick of
someone. Some days I am when I'm like at the post office and I'm like, okay, I just want to send this package. And I'm like, that's a weird name. Where does that come from? I'm like, no, just send my package. Like, yeah, but most of the time, just like, yeah, it's you know, they ask like, what's your name? And I'll be like, Siul. But I already know they're gonna be like, what? And I'm gonna be like, Siul. And then I'm like, how do you spell that? Or what does it mean? I'll be like, oh, Siul, it's Luis spelled backwards. My full name is Siule Soch, which is Jose Luis spelled backwards. My dad named me. So I kind of have this whole routine that since people ask me every day, I'm just like,
It's just like a, yeah.
kind of go with the flow. But I think it's cool, you know. I've always like wondered what it would be to have like a normal name, I guess, like Juan or Pedro. And then it would just be so simple to just say, my name's Juan, and be like, okay, hi Juan. But I think it's just like so interesting for it to like, you know, be so interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. But that's good that you're proud of it. That's important.
Yeah.
So you are part of a lot of subcultures here, there, and like you just mentioned. How do those subcultures make you who you are, not just as an artist, but you as a person?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thanks.
I think, I don't know, it's just, I think it's so cool to be like multicultural because I feel like you have different humors, you know. I think like the straight up American humor is so cool and so unique, but also like the Mexican humor is so unique. And I think once you get the Mexican humor and you learn how to speak Spanish, you can also associate with Latin American humors, which are also different in themselves, you know. And I think, you know, knowing different languages makes you like such a different person. And as an artist, I can write songs in English and in Spanish. And I think that's so important because, you know, I've often like the English language is so great at explaining things like really clear cut and kind of direct. And Spanish is kind of like more romantic, kind of more like, you know, like up in the stars and the moon and all that, you know. So I think like when you feel a certain way and you want to express yourself in this romantic way, I'll write in Spanish. And if I want to kind of like give out a message, it'll be more like in English. So I think being multicultural is just so cool.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially to bring out in your music. So who or what inspires you to make music? Y no digas tu novia.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Bueno, mi novia. I think, I mean, obviously, you know, when you love music, you just don't listen to like one, you know, genre. You listen to anything. Desde Selena, Tigres del Norte, you know, Beethoven, to like, you know, the Strokes, to like anyone, you know. So I think just that. I mean, I'm sure you can associate with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a mix of everything, but it stems from how you're even feeling. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know, today I don't want to listen to, you know, Billie Eilish. Mm-hmm. I want to listen to Los Tigres del Norte. Mm-hmm. You know, Paquita, like some Chente. You know, like I need it, right?
Que sacarlo.
But like stuff like Lady Gaga is not gonna satisfy me at the moment. I need, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you feel fears, you know, you put on Lady Gaga. Sometimes you're just like mad, and sometimes you just put like metal.
Metallica, let's
Metallica.
do it.
You know, you're working out, and obviously you're not gonna put on like, you know, classical music.
Right.
So you're gonna put on something that's gonna pump you up.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Minaj. I never worked out to Nicki Minaj, but
it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out next time.
You feel like you're in a music video, but you just have to pick what music video you want to be in, you know?
Yeah, that is so true because I like biking a lot, right? And sometimes, depending on the mood, if I see a sunset, I'll put like a romantic song, and I'm like, the wind is like on my hair, and I just feel like I'm in this like, in like Bound 2, you know?
Yeah, or like Rosa de Guadalupe.
Or Rosa de Guadalupe, you know, or and it's just like that, you know, if you're driving in a car and something bad happened, and you just want to like put on that music that you can associate to, you know, it's like, why just listen to one genre?
Tell me about the coolest or most interesting artist you have ever worked with.
I think, well, I've collaborated with a few musicians. Usually I kind of like stay in my comfort zone because as an artist, I feel like my music is my baby. So, and I'm sure you're very familiar. You got a kid of your own. My kid is my music at the moment. And I think I'm very overprotective with it, you know, with who's associated with the songs that I make, who's associated with like even the project. So I feel like I've collaborated with a few, but the few that I have worked with are really cool. I'm really happy to say that my best friends are part of my band. Mm-hmm. So I feel like those are very like, they're, like you mentioned, they're such interesting people. And that's why I feel like I'm friends with them, because they always like, I benefit from them in a way because they're always teaching me new things. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, I've worked with this artist called Caloncho. He's from Mexico, he's from Jalisco, and he's one of the best lyricists I feel like that I've ever worked with, or even like stumbled across, because we made this song together, which we eventually recorded and released, called Shula Guapa. And he came up with the lyrics within like 5 to 10 minutes. And yeah, I was like pitching in, but he was just like going on. And then at the end, he was just like, hey, what do you think about this? And at the end, we did kind of like go through it together, but he was just like. And
so what was that process like?
It was so great, because I feel like for me, lyrics are a bit harder to come by. Mm-hmm. But music kind of like playing the guitar or the drums or piano, whatever, it just kind of like flows very naturally, right? And when we worked on that song together, kind of like these ideas just kind of like came up instantly, and it's kind of like I just have to jot them down with the guitar, like record them. And real quick before, antes de que se vaya la idea, en el momento, antes de que se vaya la inspiración, and that kind of happened. And then I feel like his instrument are his words, you know. So he kind of
So you
had
guys
this,
balanced each other out.
we did, and I think that was such an interesting dynamic because I feel so comfortable with music and lyrics not so much.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's kind of like hard for me to come by, like kind of like express my emotions, I guess. I feel like maybe
Where do you
it's
think that
something
comes
like
from?
that's a whole different conversation. I don't know.
No llores.
I know. But maybe even it's that, you know, maybe
Yeah.
it's like, maybe it's suppressing like how you feel, and maybe that's why I'm not able to like put them down in words, you know, even. So maybe that's why my words are like the instruments, you know, like the notes that come by to. And for him, maybe it's like the opposite. Maybe it's just like, okay, the words are just so easy to come by with, and those are his instrument. And they just kind of like came together, and it was just, I think it was a great experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. But yeah, and I think you even like stumbled upon like a question that I never even realized, like why. But that might be something that I might learn about myself thanks to this interview. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You should be my psychologist.
We'll bill you after.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for you to figure out who you are, especially if you're projecting and creating something that you're sharing with someone else in such a wide audience, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all part of discovering who you are.
Yeah, and even like when you're making these songs, you never think that you're gonna share them with the world, and then you doing it like feel exposed because you just like shared all your emotions with like the whole world basically.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But that's, I mean, it's part of being an artist. You have to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Si no te chingaste.
I know, right? Just like have my Britney face, just like me rapa.
Stop. It's not nice to Britney.
You love Britney? Are
I
you a
do.
Britney fan?
I am. But pobrecita.
I know, pobrecita. Honestly, yeah. I mean, we can go on about this, but yeah, like, but I'm glad she's doing better now.
Me too. Shout out to Britney. I hope you're okay.
Brittany, if you're seeing this, we love you and we support you.
There were questions that I asked your fans what they want to ask you. And one of them was, they're all very personal. Like, these people are such like metiches. They like want to be all up in your life.
Yeah.
The most common one was like, ¿de qué color son tus calzones?
Oh. Well, it depends on the day. Mondays are red, Tuesdays are blue. No, I don't know. Yeah, they
Actually,
are,
Frank asked that. Frank wanted to know.
I can see that. Frank.
There's you leaked those receipts out there. She asked that question.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not surprised. It's not the first time he asked. Also.
Stop it! Guys, stop. Exposing me. Anyways. Now we gotta wait until I'm not blushing anymore.
See what you do,
How
Frank?
did you get those green hazel eyes of yours?
Stop.
Well,
Have you ever done a Punnett square?
a what?
A Punnett square.
A Punnett square? That sounds familiar.
Well, that's what he said about the jeans and then the recessive.
Yeah,
and
you're
Yeah,
right.
so the green,
Yeah.
the eyes. Never mind.
When's the last time because Punnett Square, I mean, that's last time I heard about it was like in middle school.
I mean, I do them all the time. Like, just trying to figure out people's like dominant recessive genes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a biologist, I'm guessing?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. Let's go in.
Or like just like that.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm
I
gonna
want to take it with. Okay.
cut it in half,
Okay.
90-degree cut.
Boy. Okay.
What you have to do is that you have to get as much sauce as possible. That's very important, okay?
Yeah.
Salud.
Salud. That's good.
This is delicious.
That's good.
I'm not even gonna lie.
You can't lie.
I literally can't lie because this is so good. Man. Whoever made this is a genius.
I love the sauce. It's like very hearty but not too heavy. Right?
I think the sauce is perfect. I don't know how to describe it. Okay.
It's like good with flavors too. It's not too strong.
So if you were trying to describe, I'm gonna grab some more. I think it's like, it's not necessarily sweet. I think it's kind of like similar to a vodka sauce,
Yeah.
which is my favorite sauce. And it's kind of similar to a vodka sauce, but el camarón le da un sabor
Chingón.
muy chido, muy chingón.
Doesn't this wine taste like 2014? Like si cierras los ojos and you're like 2014, that's what this tastes like. Look, do it.
It sounds like peak Lady Gaga,
A ver,
2014.
A ver, hold on.
Or who was the most famous artist in 2014?
What was happening in
It
2000?
was like Drake.
Oh, yeah.
I think like Drake. I think this tastes like
A ver.
Drake.
No, that's not.
She's like, that sounds so.
Mira, a ver, you used to call me on myself.
Yep.
No, I think that, did that come out that then?
Probably around, yeah. I think so. If only I had my phone, but
Yeah, that's what that tastes like.
it's so good. So this is, if I may,
Yeah.
this is a Barolo 2014.
Wow.
And you can taste the 2014ness in it.
You can.
For sure. How, you may ask? Well, it tastes like Drake. We just released an album called Parque, maybe about a month ago, and it's doing great. I feel like people are vibing with it. It took maybe about 2 years to write and to like mix and everything, so I'm just happy it's out there. The album art was made by this artist, amazing artist from Acapulco. We made a music video for a single called When We Go in Acapulco as well, and it just has all the vibes. So if you haven't listened to it, just go listen to it and hopefully you like it, and if you do like it, just share it. But just super excited that it's finally out, and it's kind of like all this work put into this package, and just happy to share it with the world.
Thank you so much. You heard it here first.
I was gonna ask a little stupid question. So how do they feel like being a dolphin?
Cut.
It's too personal. You transform.
Dude,
into a
but
dolphin?
I don't want to go back there. I wasn't the dolphin. I had an extra for that.
Really?
I did, yeah, because
¿Por qué? Wait,
No,
explícame por qué. A ver, dime por qué.
we had an extra because it takes a lot of time to transform into a dolphin, believe it or not. It takes like 3 hours to transform into a dolphin. So while we were recording the scenes, we had Dolphin Man on the side being prepped up. So when it was like switch, it was like,
Legit. Yeah, okay.
so yes, it's, we're in the big leagues now, so we got an extra. We got a Dolphin Man.
Where'd you get him? Hey, wait, you want to make some money off the street?
He's just like, as long as you buy me a torta after this. But yeah, it worked out, yeah. The guy was great. He did a great job. And actually, Acapulco is really famous because they have Los Clavadistas. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Yeah, Los Clavadistas de Acapulco, de la Quebrada. And he's actually training to be one.
With the dolphin suit?
No, well, the dolphin suit was extra. When he's himself, a real person, he's a clavadista. But the thing is that there's this scene that as dressed as a dolphin, se tuvo que echar un clavado en el mar. And I would have been able to do that because you have to know how to do it. And aside from that, being dressed as a dolphin, you can't see too well because you have a dolphin mask.
Oh, yeah, no.
So he was super professional. He did it perfect, like clavado. And then he just was able to come back up with dressed as a dolphin. So It is amazing.
Shout out to that guy.
I feel so bad. I forgot his name, but
Dolphin guy.
Dolphin Man. He speaks Spanish only. No, I don't know. You might know him.
Saludos, Delfín.
Hombre delfín. Acapulqueño clavadista.
Why should people listen to your music?
Should they? I don't know. I think I try to make music from like the bottom of my heart, and I feel like I just try to have fun with it, and I feel like hopefully people can vibe with it. You know, when I'm making a song, I usually don't try to make music like I'm making this song so people can really like it and kind of like to get somewhere, I guess, in terms of career-wise. Like, I want to be like as big as Post Malone, or I want to be like huge. I kind of like, I at least try to do it like with the mindset of having fun, kind of like vibing out, kind of just like spreading out my emotions. And I think hopefully if people vibe with that, I think they should listen to it. And if they don't like it, like that's cool. Like you can say if you don't vibe with it, like that's cool. But I mean, I feel like even with any artist, like if they're not in your genre or any genre that you've ever listened to before, at least like give them a try and try to vibe with them. And if you don't, like that's cool, you know. But I think at least every artist should deserve a chance, you know. So that's the way that I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think people should listen to Gabacho?
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, no. Specifically for me, now that you're asking, I like the part that I like the fact that you're part of different subcultures, because that's what identifies me as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of biased in that sense, but like I'm able to depict that in your music.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
I try to because, yeah, you know, I feel like growing up, for example, like Selena was so big because people identified themselves with her. You know, her being a Chicana that, according to the movie, she said that she didn't know how to speak Spanish well, but she just went and did it, you know, type of thing. And I think that's one of the things that happens with Chicanos a lot, that even though they're not comfortable with Spanish, you know, I feel like some people might feel afraid of trying to like relearn the language or trying to express themselves in Spanish, porque van a tener acento, or porque hablan en Spanglish, you know. So I feel like, you know, you shouldn't be scared of like singing in English, Spanish, Spanglish, or even listening to any music. So I'm pretty happy that you identify with that, because I think it's so important to kind of like let go of that, like you either have to be Mexican or American type of thing, you know. You can be both. So yeah.
And that's it.
That's it?
No, I meant like, and that's all we need.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Mexican, or, you know, like there's not much more to that. Like we have to embrace who we are, because like no tenemos de otra.
Yeah.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
We got each other, you know, and that's what we gotta do. So what are a few Chicano artists that you listen to?
Why does he have to put me on the spot like that?
He's not interviewing you. It's
I mean, I gotta. Okay, so Ale, welcome to my show.